You're listening to the BBM Global Network with 25 years in broadcast audio and video production. Our passionate team creates content and marketing for the world of Internet Talk Radio. If you've got a passion, come join us at bbmglobalnetwork.com. The BBM Global Network. Your voice is now heard.
Dr. Cy Powell is here to spread the message of holistic medicine, leveraging her wealth of knowledge as a functional medicine doctor and a conventional medicine doctor. Over the years, Dr. Powell, a board-certified OBGYN and certified nutrition health coach, has worked with thousands of women from all walks of life, especially women of color, to take back control of their health through diet and lifestyle changes. So please welcome the host of Balanced Living and Optimal Aging, Dr. Cy.
Good afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Cy Powell, the rogue gynecologist, coming to you live from Bold Brave Media TV network and YouTube with everything you need to know about balanced living and optimal aging. Thank you. This is episode number 4, and I have in the past covered a lot of information about the number 1 power tool for health and optimal aging, which is fasting. And I kind of deep dove into the fasting, and I want to at least apologize for my people that don't like so much detail, but for me, it helps to know the ins and outs because it makes me adhere better and makes me understand why I'm doing something. So today, I'd like to change gears a little bit, and I wanted to start with a quote. This is from Adam Grant. He wrote the book titled Rethink. Powerful. The purpose of learning isn't to affirm our beliefs. It's to evolve our beliefs. That resonates with me because it speaks to my forever learner attitude. And I think we all should be forever learners because things are forever changing. And we always have to keep up with what's happening. So that said, this whole process, why I'm here, is to help you become a forever learner and to understand better how to balance your life so that you can live optimally and age into the wise elders that we all are meant to become. I now like to talk to you a little bit, answer a question from the last episode. One of the viewers asked. I wanted to answer this question because it was one of these big, huge questions. What should one eat to be healthy? That's a big question with a little answer. And here's the little answer. There is no one diet fits all. We are all unique individuals from various parts of the world, our cultures, our families, our traditions, all of these things, what's grown in the area in which we live, influences what goes into our diets. Here's the real deal. Eat real, authentic, whole foods, not the refined, processed, man-made stuff, okay, that really is more for convenience and the food industry's profit more than your nutrient value and nourishment. So if you eat whole foods, animal or vegetable protein, nuts, seeds, and drink water, and use the other parts of healthy living, which we'll cover as I go through, that's what you eat to consider staying healthy and being healthy. You eat authentic food. So as I said before, walks the earth, grows out of the earth, flies the skies or swims the oceans. Those are the kinds of foods that you want to stick with and try to stay off of the highly refined stuff that's made it easy for us to ship and store and shelf it, but not better for our health and well-being. So for this episode, the title is My 3 Biggest Post-COVID Universal Insights. And I found it fascinating that there were 3 big insights that have helped me to shift into becoming a better person. And as I said before, one of the mantra for my coaching group is on a constant quest to be the best version of oneself. And these insights will help that happen. So I will cover the 3 insights, the universal insights, as well as in my next to last segment, I'll talk about uncovering the hidden opportunities that show up during challenges. So every time I think about 2020 and 2021, I feel gratitude. I know that sounds crazy because most people think about the trials and tribulations and all the negative circumstances and occurrences because of COVID, because of this invisible coronavirus. It is truly a disruptor on a global magnitude, and it's not done, this coronavirus. I'm reminded, therefore, of how interconnected we are. This global reach of this pandemic has made us see that we really are connected. And sharing this vaccine is not an act of kindness, it is a necessity, because this is a tremendous assault on the world, and we need, for our survival, we need to unite against this challenge. And it's not enough to say that we all have individual rights, which we do, and they're all civil behavior, and there's personal human rights, very, very true. But we have to remember, we're in community, we're connected. So it's not just what works well for me, but works well for me within my community of people. That's the key. And all the arguments on the how and the shoulds and the whens and the whats are all political and social discourses, but the bottom line, the most salient fact here is that we need to stop this virus, period, one and done. So I think we need to seek opportunities and solutions that can help us do just that, because we are facing major change, and what we want to do is figure out ways that we can offer our gifts to come up with transformative solutions, uplifting us from the major challenges of loss and hurt and even death and dying. Let's flip that COVID challenge coin and look at the backside where the opportunities lie, where we can find lessons to be innovative, to help ourselves move forward in cooperation and collective healing as a group, as a unit. So I'd like to share my universal insights. And number 1 is I no longer ask permission to do me. That's number 1. That was a very, very difficult one for me because I was so accustomed to following the rules. That's how I was raised. That's how most of us, we learn in kindergarten all the rules of how to be adults. No pushing, raise your hand, ask permission to leave the room, ask permission to do something. These are ingrained, and they're very important, again, when you're living in community. You're not living in isolation. Even before COVID, I already understood that sometimes asking for permission just doesn't work, that it's better to ask for forgiveness first. Because the very act that you do, if it's successful, people will rally around you. So, oh my God, it's like when the Wright brothers wanted to invent the airplane, everybody said, that's crazy. You'll never get that thing off the ground. Nobody wanted to hear that. But when they did, they were pat on the back, great accomplishment. Look at that. We knew your idea would work. You cannot argue with success. And if it's not successful, what do? You say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. You dust yourself off, figure out the lesson that you needed to learn in that failure or that fall, and get back up and try it again. That is always how we have achieved, how we have made progress, from things like the telephone, the automobile. Henry Ford was told time and time again that horseless carriage wasn't going to make it. How many people now understand that just one brilliant idea can make all the difference in the world? And sometimes you have to not ask permission to do it. By not asking, you have limitless possibilities. You have access to your imaginations, to all your gifts, because only you know your gifts and what your assessment of what you can add to the world is. You don't need to be functioning from someone else's agenda. So that's exactly how I raised my children. Do your best. If you fail, if it's hard, try harder. And if you fall, if you actually fall, dust yourself off and get back up. That's the way it has been. That is always how we get new ideas and new innovations. You can feel proud of trying. Brene Brown calls it daring greatly. Get in that arena and don't listen to the people way up in the balcony in those cheaper seats doling out their criticisms and their advice. Don't listen to that. They're not down there in the arena with you, daring greatly. So should you prevail and succeed, you've got people patting you on the back and it's all glorious. But when you don't, it's still okay because you've tried. And without trying, you won't know where next to go, how next to proceed. So I want you to understand that not asking for permission allows you to function within your own agenda. And only you know who you are and what you can accomplish and what you can do. So the second insight, universal insight I had is I am changing. I always do this. I am changing what I can no longer accept. Yes, it's a little backwards into the Serenity Prayer, but COVID exposed the entire world underbelly. We got to see all of the not so good. We got to see the flaws, the mistruths, the inequities, the disparities across the board in all the industries: government, healthcare, food industry, service industry, entertainment industry. All of these things got exposed, got revealed. Issues that I felt compelled to deal with just multiplied. Once COVID hit, we got the exposure of the healthcare disparities, and we've got the people. More unemployment happened. We had, the explosion of, hashtag Black Lives Matters and, police violence, mass incarceration, racial bias, climate change. There was so many things that I thought no longer served me, that were exposed, that I felt that something had to be done. The Serenity Prayer works great for things that are beyond our control, like earthquakes. Nothing we can do about that. It's not, okay, I will come back and finish that thought. We need to go to break. I will come back and finish that thought about why the Serenity Prayer does not work all the time and should only be used for things that are out of our control. Stay tuned. Be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Dr. Cy Powell, the road gynecologist, coming to you live from Bold Brave Media TV Network and YouTube. So I was talking about the Serenity Prayer because my second universal post-COVID insight is to not accept the things, to change the things that I can accept as opposed to accepting what I cannot change. I want to change the things that I can no longer accept, because the Serenity Prayer works well for when you cannot, when things are out of your control, like I said, earthquakes. But I've grown to realize that one individual can make a huge impact. So to think that it's just me, there's nothing I can do about climate change. What can I do? It's, my mother said that. She said, I don't watch that news stuff because there's nothing I can do about it. Well, check this out. I said to her, Mother, there is something you can do, but you are not interested or don't want to do anything about it. Because if you were interested, if it moved you, your imagination, your gifts, your whatever you were good at doing would come up with a plan, with an idea to then make a plan to take action. Gandhi did the same thing. This little Indian guy who had the idea to get the British out of India and to give India back to the Indian people, he simply went around and basically his sarong garb and traveled the country on foot, with stopping to ask for food and nourishment wherever and payment for his message and his information. That idea of his and the way he went to the people allowed him to move, to galvanize 200 million people with the same one idea, and they succeeded. They got back India for the Indian people. So one individual can have a huge impact by the ripple effect. It depends on the idea and whether it serves and moves other people, because we are connected. And by creating these connections, you can create a movement and for change or for growth, and things can get better. That's the power of one good idea put into action. It's the reason I went rogue. I could no longer accept the limiting, ineffective, and misleading concepts from conventional medicine about health and wellness. Medicine is this huge for-profit industrial complex that could not hear me when I was giving them a different model for care. They couldn't hear me because, well, it was different. And it would have meant big changes in the annual one-on-one visit, how we pay for healthcare, how we access healthcare. Changes would have had to happen. I was always asked, what's the insurance coverage? Who's the staffing going to be? Who's paying for the staffing? Not to mention, they still held on to this misconception that calories are the key to weight loss and weight control. They were a major obstacle, and even after 5 years, I could not overcome that. So I went rogue instead. I left. And I continue my nutrition health coaching in the post-COVID style. I went virtual. Now, that's very courageous for a midlife, non-tech savvy woman of color physician. Trust me, I'm in the arena daring greatly with this technology. I had stopped asking for permission. I had stopped accepting that this is the way things had to be. Instead, I envisioned a different, better way. And I am here now telling you, sharing that with you. And now I'm working to help make my mark on women's health care and to help everyday women around the world achieve balance in their lives and age optimally. That's my sole purpose. That's my goal. My third insight, universal insight. I am no longer living a lifestyle of self-sacrifice over self-care. Critical, this one. As the oldest and only girl in a African-American, Southern, working class family, I learned early on responsibility, work ethic, and that education was the key to changing my life's trajectory. That was pushed every single day in my family. They can't take that away from you. Change your stars by getting your education. And it did just that. I was always coming to the defense of my family and my friends, so much so that my mother dubbed me Ms. Public Defender. What can I say? I also had that stray cat kind of mentality where, any straggler, abandoned, abused, maltreated, malnourished, whatever your ill is, any critter, any creature, my heart reaches out and I do everything I can. I come to the rescue because I am a helper and a healer of the sick and the infirm. That's what I do. And putting other people's needs before mine, delaying my gratification is something that I thought was the way to show kindness. That was how to be kind. Giving, I'm a giver. Giving was the way to be kind. I was enter the disruptor, Mr. COVID, and now everything negative, all the challenges multiply. More unemployment, more people getting sick and dying, just craziness exploding onto the scenes in countries around the world. What would I choose? This was going to burn me out. But instead, I went rogue. I listened to the airlines, put on your own oxygen mask first. Take good care of yourself so that you can be stronger. You can be more organized. You can be far-reaching with your plans and your gifts and your goals to change things, to make a change. Okay. So I realized that one must be the change that they want to see in the world, and that's what I did. When I come back, we'll wrap up and I'll let you know exactly how self-care makes things better.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant. Like, I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Dr. Cy Powell, the Rogue Gynecologist, coming to you live from Bold Brave Media TV Network and YouTube with everything you need to know about balanced living and optimal aging. So I was just talking about the merits of self-care and being the change you want to see in the world. The best way to do that is to care for yourself. One of the problems I ran into with being in medicine was that they exacted a very hefty toll on one's lifestyle, and the only thing you got back was that you were helping other people. So that fit in with my self-sacrificing mentality until it didn't. So one of the things that I used my nutrition health coaching training was to protect my life span, to protect my brain span by understanding how to change my diet and my lifestyle. I model the very behavior that I ask of my clients because I walk my talk. Any servant leader would do this, and the best way is to show, not to tell. That's how you get to influence people. Self-sacrifice can be good, but only in a few limited circumstances. Certainly not as a general practice, because it uses you up and it incites in resentment and negative emotions. Self-care is always, always beneficial, not only to oneself, but if you are willing, it makes you more willing to help others because you feel good. And when you feel good, you can do good. So my self-care is massage therapy once a month, aromatherapy. I do inhalers. I do room diffusers. I want my environment to be peaceful and resort-like. I do power walking. I love dance and music and singing in my choir. Now, my choir is gone because of the COVID issues, but when I would go, it would just elevate my spirit and my soul. I'd be dead on my feet after working all day on a Thursday, and 2 hours from 7:30 to 9:30, I was transported spiritually. So singing, dancing, reading, what else do I do? How could I forget my infrared sauna? And big time conscious eating of quality food and intermittent fasting, balancing eating with not eating. Critical. And the other piece, meditation and journaling. Meditation is listening to the divine, whereas prayer is speaking to the divine. Journaling and meditation help you connect inward because the answers really are inside. I have a funny story. I always ask my clients when I'm interviewing them for discovering their issues on their health journeys, and I'll say, what do you want? What are your goals? You would be surprised how many people haven't really sat down and thought about that. We don't take the time. Busy, hustle, bustle, get it done, checking off our to-do list and doing all the things that we have to do as opposed to the things that we want to do. So I would say to you, increase the self-care in your life. Self-sacrifice depletes and self-care replenishes. So now let's switch gears and talk about the other side of the coin of the COVID challenge, the hidden opportunities. Because in the Chinese, their word for crisis is two symbols. One stands for danger and the other one, opportunity. So they're mixed together. The NSA, which is the National Speakers Association organization that I belong to, calls it COVID pivoting. What did you do when COVID came so that you could still do at least some of what you need to do? And for most speakers, it was going virtual. So yes, again, Miss Non-Tech Savvy has her e-speaker certification down. So what have you done? What have you pivoted? I know that working remotely from home, a lot of us did that. A lot of the parents, thank God my children were out of college and done, but the remote learning for parents, that must have been a really big change for them. One of my clients is a teacher, and she just said, starting back to school, they still are back into the virtual learning arena where, these are all midlife teachers. It took some adjusting to learn how to do that, but adjust they did. Choirs were singing on Zoom and virtually. My choir, we didn't quite get to master that. Again, that was a little bit more technology than I was willing to play with. So I lost my choir, and singing became the fastest and easiest way to get COVID. So that was a no-brainer for me. I just attended a Ballet X, one of my favorite ballet troupes in Philadelphia. They survived. They're a small troupe, originally housed at the Wilma Theater. They survived virtual shows, outdoor performances. And, it's just amazing that when I went to the first premiere show in person, wearing masks, showing proof of vaccination, they were very pleased that they not only survived, they added 3 new dancers. They've been touring and dancing in various states, California, Florida, Texas. They've been doing it. So pivoting means that you learn alternate ways of doing things, of getting the job done. Amazon was primed for online shopping. Grocery stores and supermarkets now offer, order online, come up, and we'll put it in the trunk of your car. Clothing, eyeglasses. You could buy eyeglasses online. Who knew? Shoes, okay? Food, Uber Eats, Grubhub, all of these things just exploded. How about the do-it-yourself stuff? People learned how to cut hair. I still can't do that. There's gardening and painting and art and writing and vacation and all kinds of stuff people learned how to do. And when things happen, that's what challenges, that's what creates or cultivates or germinates innovation and thinking. So we get these remedies and, necessity breeds invention. That's what happens. So pivoted to discover new ways of doing things. For me, it works with virtual coaching, Zoom meetings, and there's all kinds of humor coming out of that. I love the fact that we only have to dress up from the top. We can be comfortable. We can be on our game. We can still share and connect with people. I love that. So that's why I'm here to make sure that you understand those 3 insights to give you meaning and purpose in your life. Stay tuned. Be right back.
The opiate epidemic has reached crisis levels, and with so many families affected by addiction, opiate-related drug overdoses, and death, the time is now to have a real constructive conversation about addiction that could lead to better prevention, treatment, and recovery. Alan Charles, author and keynote speaker on drug abuse and prevention, presents The Alan Charles Show. Alan brings a message of hope, sharing his unbelievable story of surviving a 24-year addiction to cocaine and highlights from his memoir, Walking Out the Other Side, an addict's journey from loneliness to life. His raw honesty and courageous heart breaks the stigma of addiction and offers a unique perspective into the mind of an addict. Join Alan each week as he brings his listeners to a true understanding of the grip of addiction. It is only with this understanding that we can begin to heal. The Alan Charles Show, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network. Have you ever felt like no one is listening, or you're not getting the honest attention you deserve? Do you even know the kind of attention you want or need? You are not alone. Alice Aspen March is here to help. Thanks to Alice, through her epiphany and research over the word attention, there are solutions to the attention dilemma. Worldwide audiences have been enthralled and engaged for over 40 years with her visionary and pioneering observations. The kind of attention we get and give is vital to improving our lives and society. Alice and her weekly guests review game-changing insights for transforming and improving our understanding of attention, providing techniques for creating healthier and empowering behavior. Get a new perspective on a mainstream word. Tune into Why Our Attention Matters for fresh and thought-provoking conversations every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern on boldbravemedia.com and the TuneIn Radio app.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Dr. Cy Powell, the Rogue Gynecologist, coming to you live from Bold Brave Media TV Network and YouTube with everything you need to know about balanced living and optimal aging. So I hope that my discussion about self-care resonated with you guys, because too often we don't take care of ourselves, especially women. We're so trained to help others, to nurture the family, to take care of the husband, to do everything that but our needs, to take care of our needs. So these are powerful insights for me, and I know that they'll resonate with the rest of you. One of the things that I would like to recap here is to get you to understand that there are basically 3 things that I think you can do to change your life. You have to remember the power tool for life and healthy living, which is fasting. That's how we regain control of your life and your aging. Remember that health is the first wealth, that health is your keystone brick at the top of that arch, that if it's missing, nothing else stays in place, everything else falls down. So cultivating a healthy, vibrant life requires that you find your meaning and your purpose, that you're not just simply ticking off your to-do list every day and doing what you have to do, doing what you need to do. And yes, that does give you meaning and purpose, and it does make you feel better, but when it all shakes down, there's still a little bit missing if you are also trying to combat some of these other challenges. So the 3 universal insights I want you to apply across the board, and that is, don't ask for permission to do you. As Nike says, just do it, okay? Learn from it if it doesn't work. If it works, build on it. Number 2, change what you can no longer accept. Let go of the judgment, the blame, and shame. Don't accept what you don't like. Don't accept what no longer serves you, okay? And number 3, change to a lifestyle of self-care instead of self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice is noble. We're going to be a martyr and we're going to go out like Mother Teresa, but it's so much better to greet the world feeling fully invested in who you are, to share all of your skills and your talents from a place of peace and security in who you are. That's the replenishing part of the self-care. All three insights have helped me to transform my life, and I can show you how to increase the self-care regimen in your own life. Little simple things. If you are tired of asking for permission, if you're tired of accepting things that should be changed, and you want to stop just burning through your life by sacrificing all of your needs for your spouse, for your children, for your job, then you're in the right place. Contact me through my website, balancetobloom.com, and schedule a discovery conversation, because the purpose of learning isn't to affirm our beliefs, it's to evolve our beliefs. So believe that you can live well with self-care, not asking for permission, and changing what you can no longer accept. I look forward to talking with you about your health journeys and your life journeys. Balancetobloom.com or Dr. Soyini, Soyini, @gmail.com. Take care. Until next week.
You've been listening to Balanced Living and Optimal Aging with your host, Dr. Sai. Listen each week as she aims to help others embrace functional medicine and a more holistic root cause approach to disease treatment, right here on Balanced Living and Optimal Aging with Dr. Sai.
You've been listening to the BBM Global Network. The ideas, views, and opinions of this broadcast are those of the participants of the program and are not necessarily the ideas, views, and opinions of the BBM Global Network Company.